Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. I'm so excited that we are recording this video about Ashling Productions and why we started down this road of awesomeness. Are you excited?
Me too. I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
So, we wanted to do this video so that turn off the ringer on your phone, miss. We wanted to do this video so that people would know who we are and we could introduce ourselves to people and also talk about women and money and the mortgage industry and why we hope that this series of interviews and the work that we're doing culminates into a really incredible conference in 2022.
That's right. That's right.
Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you did perfectly.
Okay, great. So, Liz, why don't you introduce yourself to our people, to our new amazing fans and followers, and let them know who you are and what you do.
I'm Liz Irish. I'm a loan officer. I've been a branch manager. I prefer loan officer, and I'm sure that'll come out down the road as to why. Been doing this. I was trying to figure out when I first became a loan officer. I think it was 2000 and no, it was 1995 that I became a loan officer. So it's been a little while. I've survived some ups and downs, and previous to that, I was a realtor.
Yeah.
During the downturn, I did a little stint in an escrow office in North Dakota. So I've done escrow, I've done real estate, and I've done lending, but lending is really my love. It's the thing I love the most. Only thing I haven't done is appraisals, and that will never happen. I would be the worst appraiser on earth.
Why do you love doing loans?
So loans really got me jazzed because I was invited to become a loan officer by my first mentor. Her name was Kathleen Powell, and I worked at a company called Mission Hills Mortgage Bankers in Grants Pass, Oregon. This little town, and she was just a powerhouse and taught me a lot about the business. And I was in between real estate and lending, and I was a realtor at 18. I got married early and became a realtor at 18, and I was pregnant with Haley, my second child, at 26. And she said, she ran into me at a bank because I was a bank teller, horrible bank teller, by the way. I don't think realtor to bank teller is a good transition. And she said, I was pregnant. She said, have the baby, come work for me. So I had Haley, and then immediately went to work for her thinking I was going to do horrible, just not really knowing what I was going to do with my life. And here we are. Later, the second year in the company, I was president's club, things clicked. And the part I loved the most about was that this isn't really that difficult at all. It's a head game, and finance is not challenging or risky, or none of us are too dumb to understand. And that was the great epiphany I had and why I loved it so much.
I love that. That's a great story. Yay. Well, I am Dr. Melissa Bird, and I am a public speaker and a life coach. And I am a former lobbyist and activist, and really love the idea of taking all my skills to help women find their voice and harness their power to bring them into the world of owning wealth and power and disruption. So my contribution to all this, alongside Liz, because we're both a bit of disruptors, we're little troublemakers, Liz and I, is to really start to think about how can we shift the way people see money and women and power and lending in the industry. So I'm super excited that we've partnered together because I think it's awesome.
Me too. Me too.
So so what I would love people to know is how Ashling Productions came together, because I think it's a really funny and lovely story. So I'm going to start by saying, out of nowhere, I get this text message from Liz that says, I think we should put together a conference. And I was like, you know how hard that is? And she's like, no, I think we should totally just do it. Let's have coffee and talk about it. And then, of course, she's like, but my schedule's super busy, so I don't know when we can do it. Let's do it at the beginning of the year. And this was the end of 2019. And I was like, sure, whatever. Okay, conference, whatever. Well, then she's like, I'm too excited. I can't wait. Let's have coffee tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So Liz, what did you want to do and what was your vision?
So, I joke, and those that know me in the industry and have worked with me, all these companies have these coaches that you can hire. You can go on these retreats and you can learn how to do business. And every time I turned around, there was a particular one that kept popping up, and I align with him in zero ways. This particular coach, who is fine and no disrespect meaning at all, I have nothing in common with how that person does business. I have nothing about that coach that I relate to. And every company I went to, that person's name came up, and that the companies would negotiate these discounted rates for you to fly to another city and sit through his coaching program. And I just didn't even want to listen to him. Yeah, I'm sure he has great systems, and I'm sure that they all have great systems, right? But I don't think that it just didn't appeal to me. So I was always a little angry. With those people that know me know I get on a soapbox and I get a little full of myself. And I was like, well, son of a bitch, isn't there anything designed for women like me, right? That want to be coached and want to go to the next level. And I've been in my career so many times where I'm like, how do I get to that next level? I'm producing, but I'm working 7 days a week and I'm exhausted and I feel like I can't take another client. And you're always in this position where your company says, well, if you want to pay for the assistant or you want to split it with me, then we can do that. Or do I settle and just be happy with what I've got?
Yeah.
And I've had many moments in my career where I've had to make those decisions. And even if when I did get assistants, I didn't necessarily know how to manage them or to structure around them. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know where to start. And this particular coach that's always been advertised isn't the person that I want to start with. So I just kept spewing about it. I think is the best way I could say it. Anybody that would listen, I'm like, I can't believe I'm so tired of hearing that person's name. I would really love to be coached by somebody that actually knows something about what I'm experiencing as a woman in mortgage, because it is completely different than men in mortgage.
Right.
In a lot of ways. Men will tell you it's not, but it's different.
Right.
So that's
where all the women that I've talked to in mortgage have said the same thing. They're like, men will tell you that it's not different, but all the women in mortgage will say it's totally different.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
So I think I just got to a point where I was like, Missy, you've got to help me. I don't know. I think we need to do a conference. I know nothing about conferences. Can I start here? Will you help me? And so that's where it came about.
It's so awesome. So what we have learned about all of the, because there are tons of conferences in the mortgage industry. Mm-hmm. There's conferences for managers. There's conferences for top level people. There's all these conferences. But what's the one thing that they have the most in common?
None of them are designed for women.
Yes. And none of them are designed for women producers.
No, specifically producers. You're right.
Specifically producers. So this is the interesting thing that we've discovered is that we have this vision of helping women hold wealth, right? And expand their businesses. Right. And make more money as producers in mortgage companies, but there is nothing out there for them. No. And it's really fascinating. The culture around that is really interesting. It's because people are worried that their top producers are going to get poached because their top producers are often women.
Yeah, and oftentimes companies will do their own little sales rallies within their companies at different locations, and that kind of turns into some kind of training or technology that company uses or wants you to use. But I haven't really been taught how to do my job, right? Like I've just been like all mortgage people, we've all just been like, go. When I first started real estate, it was like, there's the phone book. I mean, I'm literally that old before no call list where I had to call out of a phone book. And that's how you learn how to sell. And then once you're a really big producer, it gets more complicated than just selling. Now you have to keep track of everybody, right? And you have to, you have to network, and where do you network? And I just think that it's just way better if they would just do conferences for the people who actually make money for them, which is us, the producers on the ground level.
Mm-hmm. So our vision for this conference is very different. And I've had some resistance on the phone with people as I'm talking to them. But once I explain what it is that we're doing, they get really excited. So if you could think about how to distill our vision into one sentence, what would it be?
You set me up because you know what this is. I think when women can control the money, they can control the world, or more of the world. I think that we're left out of controlling a lot of what's happening out there. And I think we have a stronger voice than we realize. We are the foot soldiers of the mortgage companies. And I know that sometimes they try to accommodate and give us what they need, what we need as groups, but I think it's fallen short. And it's time for us to say, this is really what I need, because I really want to make some money, because we all know we can make money. And I don't want to be limited. I don't want to be limited on how much money I can make.
Yes. Right. I mean, and we want to raise the voices of women that don't normally get acknowledged for the work that they're doing. So the vision for not just Ashling Productions, but also the conferences that we want to hold, is to bring in speakers that aren't typical industry speakers, along with women from the industry, to talk about anger and money and the spirituality of money and how to build a sustainable business practice and
imposter syndrome.
Yes.
And so many things we need to talk about. Raising your hand and asking for what you need and want.
Yes. And really expanding this conversation so that the executive coaches that we're bringing in and the people that we're talking to are really, really able to help women find their voice and find that power that they need in order to grow and sustain their wealth. Right?
Yep. And I have experienced absolute complete anxiety and fear when asking for things from bosses at mortgage companies. Yeah. I'm afraid to raise my hand. I don't want to make too much noise. I want to be accommodating. I've had imposter syndrome at President's Club events. The most crazy things that we deal with that I don't necessarily think all or any or some of our male counterparts deal with. And I would just like us to help everybody get past all of those really hard and challenging hurdles.
Yeah, I think it's so lovely. It's the best vision ever, I think. So we are going to be, our conference is going to be taking place in February 2022 in the lovely Portland, Oregon area. And Women Producers in Mortgage is our focus, but of course, everyone is welcome at the table. And our hope is to bring together 450 really incredible women and their supporters to talk about how we can get over that imposter syndrome, ask for more money, ask for what we need, figure out how to really hone our voices in order to up-level and change the way we do business in the world.
That's right. And I think the thing that surprised me the most about going down this journey is the amount and the level of women that are helping us through this. And I'm really excited to do the future interviews that we've already scheduled coming up. I will text you all the time and you say, stop saying this. I'm like, I'm so blown away. I can't believe this. I'm so blown. And you're like, stop saying, I can't believe this. But I really can't. I think there's a lot more momentum than we realize. And I don't think that if you're listening to this and you're a woman producer, you should brush this off. I really think that women in the industry want to see you succeed, and we're going to show you by the interviews that we're going to have. And I think you're going to be like, really, people care? They really want me to succeed? I think it's the first time I've really felt kinship, so to speak, about our business.
Yeah, I think that what's incredible, and we're going to be interviewing some of these women, and my hope is that they lead us towards other women that people haven't heard of that we can interview too, so we can start really having a much more global conversation about all of these women. But the thing that has been just mind blowing is that they're like, this is great. There's not a whole lot about this out there. And so, and one of the things that I love is that these women that we're talking to are also helping us identify other people to connect with, like women who are commercial producers and women who do commercial lending. And that is a very small number of human beings. And so I just really think that, I mean, what excites me the most about this is that we are identifying something that is, people are ready for this. Like, women are ready to have this conversation. And I think it's really, really exciting.
They are. Clearly they are.
So if you could leave people, if you want to tell people one thing about what we're hoping they get out of these interviews and get out of this conference, what would it be?
The one thing I think I have wanted most of my career personally was answering that question. Is this enough, or do I want more? And that's a really complex question to answer, because when I say, is this enough, when we're really hitting President's Club levels, or we're closing, 5 to 7 to 10 loans a month, where we're literally losing our minds, we're so busy, you can be really happy on that income. I don't care if you work at a credit union, or you work at a bank, or you work at a mortgage company. That's a decent income to live on. And I think sometimes we trip ourselves up thinking we should be happy with that. I don't, some people maybe, and I want to give women the opportunity to say, no, you know what, I think I can do more. And I want to do more. Yeah. And we're going to offer the people, the professionals, the women who've done it, we're going to offer up their expertise to help you figure out how to get there if that's what you want. Or if this is enough, how did you just do what you're doing now to the best of your ability?
And sustain it.
Because you get to still have a life.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the challenge. At what point do we get to have a life again? And we don't have to do everything ourselves. We women think we do. We don't. We get to hire people, and we get to delegate.
And that's what we're going to help people understand. That's great. So we have amazing sponsorship opportunities. We have early bird tickets. So even though it seems like 2022 is far away, it really is not. We're already halfway through 2020, thank God. I mean, honestly. Right? So we've got early bird tickets available for only $250. So if you decide that you want to come, our regular ticket price is $500. So early bird's half off. So if you are interested in tickets, we are on social media and LinkedIn. So Liz and I are both on LinkedIn. Liz can be found at Liz Irish, and I can be found at Melissa Bird on LinkedIn. But we also have a Facebook page for Aisling Productions, and Aisling is spelled AISLING Productions, and we have a website, aislingproductions.com. So it's AISLING Productions .org. It's .org. So we'll put all of that in the comments of the video so that you know how to find us on the socials. And we really look forward to having you connected with the conference, and to you coming back to see us interview all these incredible women in mortgage. So
not going to be long. We're going to start airing these interviews shortly.
Yes, so it's going to be amazing. Thanks for joining me this morning, Liz.
Thanks, Missy, for calling.
Have a perfectly awesome day.
You too.
Okay, bye.